Finders Keepers by Emily Rodder. Chapter 1. Beginnings. Patrick, turn that TV off. Patrick, are you in there? Patrick stayed where he was. His mother sounded hassled, up to her ears in supermarket shopping in the kitchen, while his little brother fussed around her, helping. With a bit of luck, she wouldn't call out again, and he'd get another 10 minutes of peace. Not that there was anything worth watching. You'd think they'd try a bit harder on Saturday mornings. He carefully aimed the remote control and flicked through the channels. Sport, test, old black and white movie, snow, a quiz program. That was more like it. But that wasn't on a proper channel. Some country station probably. Bad luck. He squinted at the spotty jumping picture on the screen. A quizmaster with a bow tie and a moustache introduced a confused-looking contestant. Patrick, do you want to see what I found at the shops? Can I watch my movie? Will you put on Mickey Mouse now? His little brother was hanging around the door, eating a biscuit. No, Danny, not now. I'm watching, said Patrick impatiently. Danny screwed up his eyes and took a breath. Patrick put his hands over his ears and stubbornly stared straight ahead. On the blurry TV screen, the round-faced quizmaster opened his mouth and laughed. In Patrick's living room, old Danny opened his mouth and roared. Patrick! What's happening in there? Dimly, Patrick heard his mother's voice over Danny's yells and the roaring from the TV, and threw his hands. She must have reached a screeching point. He eased the finger covering his right ear. He'd better do something fast, or there'd be trouble. He sighed and walked over to the TV. Don't cry, Danny, he said in a kind, reasonable, loud voice. I'll put on your movie, will I? He pushed a few buttons, then, grinning quizmaster was cut off in mid-giggle. You said you wouldn't put Mickey on, protested Danny. You said. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Patrick, howled the voice from the kitchen. Patrick sighed again and pushed the last button. Danny's movie began its 28th run, and Danny retreated to the couch, his eyes fixed to the screen. I was watching something, you know, mumbled Patrick, suddenly angry again. He felt unloved and hard done by. He went over to a chair and curled himself up into a ball. He began to imagine that he was being held prisoner by a hideous monster with 3 eyes and slimy green tentacles. He couldn't move. He struggled against the invisible web that bound him. He had to get free. He writhed and butted his head against the chair back, grunting with effort. Patrick! He slowly raised his head. Judith, his mother, was standing over him, her hands on her hips. She was shaking her head. Patrick, I've told you and told you. Don't be rough on the chair. It's on its last legs already. Patrick guiltily slid his feet to the ground and unclenched his fists. He regarded the old armchair gloomily. It was big and comfortable and just the right size for curling up in. But there were already darns and patches on the arms, and in other places the threads of the covering were worn thin, and you could see the stuffing underneath getting ready to burst through. Sorry, Mum, he mumbled. I forgot. Well, don't forget. You forgot about my new sneakers. Patrick decided the best means of defence was attack. You said last Saturday we'd get them this Saturday, and you forgot. Judith clasped her hand to her forehead. I did, she groaned. I clean forgot. Oh, dear. You could have reminded me, Patrick. Shh! hissed Danny from the couch. Oh, pardon me, exclaimed Judith, but she lowered her voice. Well, you'll just have to manage till next week, Patrick. I'll get your father to mind Danny, and we'll go next Saturday morning. Okay? I just couldn't face Chestnut Village Chestnut Tree Village again today. It's a madhouse. Mum, have you seen my sunglasses? Patrick's older sister Claire strode into the room. They were on the kitchen bench, and now they're gone. Someone's taken them. No one's taken them, Claire. And what were they doing on the kitchen bench anyway? No wonder you're always losing things. Judith shook her head and went back to the kitchen. I didn't lose them, Claire shouted after her. I put them there so I'd know where they were. And I've got to go to my piano lesson now. I'll go blind if I have to go out in that sun without my sunglasses. I saw them, volunteered Patrick. They're on the kitchen bench. Claire stamped her foot and tossed her hair back. They're not, she fumed. Someone's moved them. Her eyes narrowed. I bet you did, Patrick. I bet you were playing with them. Where are they? You'd better not have broken them. Patrick lost his temper. I didn't touch your stupid sunglasses, he yelled. They're on the stupid kitchen bench. I saw them, stupid. Stupid yourself. Stop fighting, roared Judith from the kitchen. Claire, come here. I can't hear, shouted Danny from the couch. Mum, Patrick's taken my sunglasses, cried Claire passionately. He's always taking my things. One of my best earrings has gone too. You know, the stripy ones Julia gave me? He's a little pest. Oh! Judith stood in the doorways, arms folded. She was wearing a pair of sunglasses. Where were they? Claire exclaimed. On the kitchen bench, in plain sight. Why don't you look? Sighed her mother, pulling off the sunglasses and tossing them to her. They weren't there, Claire mumbled stubbornly. Well, obviously they were, said Judith dryly, going back to the kitchen. Now, get off to piano and watch out for the traffic. And say you're sorry to me, chipped in Patrick, because I didn't take them, did I? It's usually you, retorted Claire. And what about my earring? I saw you looking at them. Now you've gone and lost one. Pest! She turned and went out of the room. Bye, Mum, she shouted from the hall, and the front door slammed. She's the pest, muttered Patrick. I never touched her stupid earring. He punched the back of the chair viciously. With a soft little sigh, the material split like a sausage under his knuckles, and a lump of white filling burst through. He stared at it, aghast. Danny turned his head to look. His eyes widened with delight, and he scrambled from the couch. Hey, Mum! He laughed. Look what Patrick found in the chair! White stuff! What? The voice from the kitchen was furious. With a sinking heart, Patrick heard the mother is on the warpath, footsteps approaching, not turning out to be a very good day.